In this video, we'll discuss where power comes from. We're going to use French and Raven's theory about the 5 sources of power, which you might remember from your Intro to Management class. Lots of people in our lives have influence over us, but that influence comes from different places. As your professor, I can tell you to do your homework, but not to clean your room. A police officer can tell you not to jaywalk, but not what time to show up at work. Some of this is situational, but much of it depends on the source of their power. The first source of power is expert power. If a person knows a lot about a subject, other people listen to them when they talk about it. You probably assume your doctor knows something about the flu, or that your accounting professor understands cash flow statements. We take the advice of experts, and we usually act on it. The second source of power is referent power. This kind of power comes from others looking up to you and respecting you. Now, this could come from expertise, such as a boss who has worked in your field for decades, but not necessarily. Little kids don't look up to their parents because of parental expertise, but because of their relationship. Our third source of power is legitimate power. It exists because of the official relationship between two people. This may often happen at work. We accept that our boss can tell us what tasks to do that day, or that a police officer can tell us when to cross the street. We don't have to think they're experts, nor do we have to personally respect them. You might not like or respect your boss, but they can still tell you what time to show up at work, what shift you're working, and what you'll be doing that day. One thing to note about this that legitimate power doesn't usually announce itself. It's not someone saying, "I'm the boss and I said so." In a face-to-face class, I illustrate this by giving handouts to the students in the front row. What happens? They pass them back. I don't have to ask, and I certainly don't have to insist that I have the authority to make them do it. But it's an accepted part of the legitimate authority a professor has over their students. Just as legitimate authority comes from the formal roles we inhabit, so too do our last sources of power, reward and coercive. These are the power to reward people and to punish them. My boss has the power to reward me with a raise, or to punish me by making me teach an 8 a.m. class. Again, just like legitimate power, she doesn't have to announce her power when she uses it. And in fact, she doesn't have to directly use it for it to be effective. Often, unspoken threats or promises are enough. So legitimate reward and coercive powers all stem from our formal roles. You accept that your boss can give you tasks to do, but that stops the moment you leave that job. Expert and referent power, on the other hand, can exist even without a formal relationship. If you consider your former boss a mentor, you might still take their advice. And the more sources of power someone can draw from, the more power that they have over you.